there, my name is Renee Rochelle, and I am the president and founder of One True Match, a marriage and relationship company that's all about helping people to find the love of their life and help the relationship to last. I started my company well over a decade with 400 couples matched and over 250 marriages. We have so much information on how people choose to find love and obviously continue to have a relationship last. The next portion of what we talk about in our program is our leadership. And so we've learned all of the steps, which is obviously your soul, the affirmation part of it. Now we need to turn to leaders. And a lot of people will say, well, what does that mean? And I say, whether it be some people go to see a life coach or a therapist or go to love like Tony Robbins and go to events to make you feel better and more whole so you're on fire. And in all those kind of motivational type people that you either listen to on podcasts, or nowadays in Zoom, conferences and things like that we take, it is so important that we are continuously doing something, if not daily reading. Like I start off my mornings with a daily devotion and a cup of coffee to set my intentions for the day. But if you're not doing something daily, I strongly encourage you to read something on a weekly basis, if not even then go one step further and sign up for some type of better and self-improvement type of course or program or something like what you're doing right now, obviously listening to this. And then it is important that you continue, as you ride a bike, you have to continue to turn the wheel. So it's so important that we find mentors in our life that make us better and keep us on our purpose. Knowledge is power. So seek experts in your area of what you want to be good in, which is exactly what this whole talk and course is about, with everybody that's trying to make each one of you a more whole person. So getting back to the relationship side of things, we like to, in the leadership portion of it, dive into your personality. So personalities are something that I also was fascinated about, of how different we can all be. And when you're in your own little bubble of knowing yourself, and you know the things that will set you off, and the things that will make you frustrated or give you stress, and the things that will also make you happy and bring you joy, and you know how long those periods of times will last. And I hope you've mastered at this point how to either take yourself out of those situations when the blood pressure feels like it's sky high, or how to at least control your own tongue or your own actions. But if you're somebody that still struggles in those areas in life, and that's what's really holding you back when it comes to your dream career or your future goals or finding the love of your life or keeping a healthy marriage lasting or relationship, it's so important that we really start to understand who we are and why we do the things we do. And not only for yourself, but also the people around you. So we like to just use the most basic, which is kind of where it all began, which is the Myers-Briggs. I hope maybe you've taken your test or your quiz by now, so you know your personality type. But as we dive more and more into the course, we really give examples, and in a room where we can show or in live and in person, where we can really show the difference between what we say kind of the J and the P personality, and then more of the planner and more of the laid back, and then the people in between where, you could be more of a controlling person, an analytical person, somebody that's more of a promoter. You're you're there to encourage everybody, somebody that's super supportive. We combine that with, of course, I also love, I was saying earlier, I was reading the 5 love languages. So if you've never done that before, I hope, again, you've taken these quizzes so that you're prepared while we walk through that. In the course, we'll really dive into how your personality type and your love language, and we also even have another one on a money analysis of how you spend money, because between sex, money, family, and all of those things, that's what really tears apart usually a relationship. So it's so important that we take these assessments that are just, the tipping point of diving even deeper into other analysis of yourself to, again, know who you are, but then also encouraging your friends and family and people around you to take these courses. When we do this program live in person, we have everybody pair up kind of with a buddy, which is really cool. And so you could use your friend as that buddy, or say, take this test and then let's put our heads together so that we can better understand each other. And then we also understand the things that sometimes annoy us, maybe about our friends or our colleagues, or even the love of our life, especially when you're married, because you're around that person all the time. We can better understand who one another are. So when triggers or things happen, instead of running to the hills and turning our back to that person and like, whoa, they're in it, they're like right in the middle of the mood or whatever that they're in, it's better to just let it go. And yes, there are times that it is good to give people, I call it, there's a 5-hour rule, 72-hour rule, and the easy button. Which is kind of the timeout when things get heated. But it's so important when we know somebody's strengths and weaknesses and how they act and react, that we actually lean in instead of turn away. And we take that hat off of us of we're right? And we become the expert for them. So that's what this leadership portion of the program is all about, is mastering the gift of how you can actually become a leader in your own relationships for yourself and for others. Because the more that you can teach someone else, the more that they can teach somebody else, right? It's the mastery of people. So when you have two people that are so different and you start to understand their strengths and weaknesses, that's when you can say, okay, so let's just take 10 minutes to stop what we're talking about. And let's just dive into some of the things that I've actually learned about you, that I understand now why you're getting upset about this, because, one of your weaknesses is that you overreact to things, or you're more analytical, or you're more laid back. And I am somebody that's, such a planner. And so that can butt heads in those areas too. And so that's really what that activity is about. That is so we really go through in more detail of your type, your love language, who you attract, and how to communicate that. And then we also need to dive into how to stay sexy and how to stay attractive in today's Instagram world that we all live in, which we love technology, but it also is what also hurts us sometimes when it comes back to the basic days of when we used to just fall in love because we met somebody, at a local prom or event or something like that, and now everything's on social media. So it's so important that we also do keep up with what we feel is our best version of ourselves. So, there's a lot of times when people will say, oh, I can't find the love of my life, and either it's because they're super busy or they haven't really spent the time in it, but we do dive into the do's and don'ts of dating, which can apply to a marriage as well. So a lot of times when, of course, we're in a marriage for a long time, we then slow down our dating and courting. Some people do. You should never. I always say date your mate for the day until the day that you die. It is so important to continue to, just be your best version always for your mate. But when you're also attracting someone, you can't always run around in your yoga clothes or your workout clothes. You have to, if you're going out to something that's prime time, we even say at the grocery store, don't go home and change before to the grocery store. And trust me, I am a girl that wears heels and I love to put on my flats at the end of the day because it's way more comfortable. But it's so important that we continue to walk in the door still fully dressed, especially if we're in love with somebody, the love of our life. And when we're going to the store, you can walk around the grocery store for another 30 minutes before you take off your shoes in the car. But so we really talk about, the image and the appearance and, the do's and don'ts when it comes to dating and etiquette. And I can't tell you how many times I have to tell people, and I'm sure you all know this. But little things like putting the toilet seat down. All of us women, I can't tell you how many women will say, my ex never put the toilet seat down. And we talk to our men in our company. We get their lists of things that they're like, women always do this, or women won't allow us to be the leader in a relationship. We're attracted to the boss or the woman that's super successful in their career, but we also want a woman to be soft and kind and sweet in a relationship that sometimes lacks. So we go through really tips and tools that you can use when it comes to dating today, continuously dating your mate. of things you may have never thought of before that can really apply to all areas, again, to get that promotion, to get that love of your life that you're looking for. We dive into how to have couch talk conversations, which is basically undivided time, whether you're a scheduler or you're two people that you can just happen to find that time in your schedule that you know you connect. It's just really important to have, I say, that couch talk conversation where your phones are turned off, there's no electronics around you, there is no distractions of a dog or a cat or a baby or friends or anything. Where two people, whether it be with your best friend or, a colleague, or, I know sometimes in our office I'm calling in, our team and they're off and I can tell. And I'm like, okay, let's do some couch talk, and the design of that was obviously originally to sit on the couch at the time, hold hands, or at least look into each other's eyes and really be present. Listen to what somebody's saying, listen to their heart, and ask them to explain what the deeper meaning of is why they're reacting the way that they are. So many people, I have learned, have so much on their shoulders and so many things that they need to release and let go. But everybody tries to put on, that tough, I've got this attitude, I can do this. But that's just stuffing your emotions that's going to surface at some point and be a complete explosion if we don't have somebody that we can talk those things out with or through. So it's so important, like we always say, to have a buddy that's your accountability relationship coach or expert personally. And of course, that's what we have our entire team here doing for so many of our clients and matches and just couples that we have together today. And we've got psychologists on staff and life coaches and all those things that make everyone so much stronger because they have these tools and principles to be able to apply them going forward. So that is a little bit about what we call our Love Starts With You that I would love to teach everybody. We've got slideshows and more videos that will walk each person through this as an experience that they can take from this and then apply it. And I'd love to do more series of this so that they can continuously grow it and we can continuously check in with them. So I hope you find this video interesting. I can always re-record. I'm trying to just go off the cuff as I know you guys asked. And I hope to see you soon on this journey of helping others to truly be their best version of themselves, to make the world a better place so we can have truly a village of love and care for one another in a healthy way. Bye.